Hi everyone, and welcome to the Tabletop Almanac. My name is Simon, I'm the host, and I don't know, all the different parts of the channel. And with me tonight, I have two distinguished figures here who are going to be helping me launch the channel's first, I guess I could say exclusive, actual play game. As you may be able to see from the Foundry screen to our video, right? The game is Alien. I say first somewhat exclusive because I've run streamed games elsewhere and do have some of the recordings up on the channel, but this is the first one for the channel. We are going to be playing Alien, the role-playing game by Free League Publishing. It is a very cool game. I've had a chance to play some of the cinematic scenarios, and I can explain what that is in an entirely different segment. But we are going to be playing through a campaign for the recently released Building Better Worlds book about the exploration and sort of colony ship type of campaign structure called the Lost Worlds campaign. We will go through a number of them. There are 7 scenarios, and we'll see how many PCs we go through in that time. The difference between cinematic and campaign games is that a cinematic one is really meant to be like a single movie. And
One shot.
A one shot, yeah. And the campaign is a series, a whole season. So the main difference is everything goes to shit much quicker in the cinematic scenario than in the campaign scenario, or the stakes are different, or this, that, and the other thing. But I guess you can expect more build-up before everything starts happening. That being said, people can still die along the way, and we may start a kill count somewhere on the screen here. I'm not being pessimistic. I'm just being realistic. This is Alien, after all. So, Alien being a Free League Publishing game, though I guess not every Free League game does this, runs on the Year Zero engine. For those of you in the audience who are unfamiliar with the Year Zero engine, it is well, there are 2 different versions. This one is the dice pool version, where you roll a pool of 6-sided dice when any action requires adjudication, and any 6 counts as a success. All you need is a success, and extra successes give you points to play around with. The description of skills and so on give you what options that you can spend these extra successes on, and these could be things like extra damage, or you can use it to knock someone back. In fact, in Chariot of the Gods, we knocked some alien thing off of a balcony with extra successes. So it lets you play with the environment a little more. It's a relatively narrative game in the sense that it really it pushes the genre of Alien. Even to the extent that in certain situations, NPCs, and it's, I guess I'm going to say it this way, but it is coded into the rules, and that is written in the rules, that they can persuade your character, a PC. There are guidelines for how that's done, but basically they sort of win you over to their side, and you either have to give something up, I believe it is, although if it becomes an issue, we'll double check that. You have to either give something up or take stress damage or something to that effect to resist it. So it's almost like a social attack, which I think is pretty cool. And it's a good way to sort of set the characters against each other when, everyone starts debating, well, what are we going to do here? And like, no, we got to go in and flush them out. And everyone's like, that's a terrible idea. But he's like, all right. But this guy's super charismatic, and he convinces you all that's, in fact, the best plan ever. So expect some of that. You do have 99% character autonomy, but there may be situations where that doesn't fully hit that 100%. We are using the Foundry Virtual Tabletop for this. You can see the sort of background behind me. It has the wonderful cover of Building Better Worlds, nice and evocative. And on the right, you will see the chat log window, which will be where all the dice rolls are displayed and where characters and various other things pop up. I may be hopping through a couple of the menus now and then, so the thing you'll see is me going through them, but we'll always try to come back there so you can see what happens. One of the fun things about it is your character gets stress in this game. They get a lot of stress. Circumstances cause stress. Roles cause stress. It's a very stressful future, Alien. And so I'm gonna hold this up. I think you can probably see it. This is a nice little normal black 6-sided dice. This is your regular Alien dice. But as you play, you'll start to add stress dice, which are these nice yellow ones here. The 6 is a face hugger icon. Or is it the 1? No, it's the 1. The 6 is that target again. There you go. And you will add them to your die pool as you accumulate them, which means that you might trigger a stressful effect. And this can be anything like we've had dropping your gun when firing it. Now, it doesn't mean it's not successful, but you do drop it after you fire it. It could be things like go into a full utter panic, go catatonic, do all sorts of things. There's a whole table, and as your stress gets higher and higher, the impact of it, when it finally does hit, is bigger and bigger. Okay. So this episode is our session 0, where, as I have just done, I've talked a little bit about Alien, and we will create characters and talk a little bit about the campaign, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about Alien itself if we feel like it at various points. But enough of me. Let's introduce our cast. So I have us set up as a column. So directly below me, we have Matt. Do you want to introduce yourself, give your preferred pronouns, plug anything you want to plug?
Oh, sure. Thanks. I'm Matt Eager, he, him, from Old Bones Publishing. I am a writer of scenarios and game aids. I primarily work with the Mithras system, but I've begun to branch out recently. And I'm excited to play here. If you want to find the Old Bones shop, just go to DriveThruRPG.
He writes quite good scenarios. I've played through a few of them, and they're a lot of fun, so definitely check them out. And below me, second but not least, we have...
I'm the AwkwardGMCorbin. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me at the AwkwardGMCorbin on YouTube, Blue Sky, X, all those wonderful things. And I am currently for the Onyx Path Twitch channel. If you're watching this in February of 2024, I'm currently running a StoryPath Nexus game jam where a bunch of people are just making random game supplements for StoryPath products like Trinity Continuum, Scion, They Came From, and Dystopian Rising.
Nice. Awesome. Very cool. Very cool stuff. And I'm Simon. You're on this channel, so you have access to a variety of my stuff. So I'm not going to hype me. I'd like to thank Free League Publishing for their support for this endeavor. And want to thank Foundry for making such an awesome virtual tabletop. I quite enjoy it, even though I'm only learning bits of it, and there are parts that elude me to this moment. But I no longer have the full bandwidth to just sit there and learn it all. So that will come over time. But Alien is a pretty straightforward one. So thank you, whoever made the official module for it. Although I'm supposed to call it a system, I think. But system and modules. Okay, let's, I guess, start off with the immediate thing that if you're watching this and want to kind of know what you're getting yourself into, you can stop if it's not to your taste. This is Alien. You may be familiar with the franchise. It has movies, books, video games, comic books. I don't think it ever had a breakfast cereal, but it has had action figures. It has miniatures games.
Variety of video games.
A variety of video games. Yep. It is a sci-fi horror game, and we're going to exercise X cards, and we've sort of talked a bit offline, lines and veils, and so on. I believe everyone is perfectly fine with Alien as it stands. So the expected body horror, loss of control. You may have another life form implanted in you, which will eventually burst out and kill you. You may be transformed into something else. I guess that is covered under body horror. There will be inevitable betrayal, I'm sure, at certain points, because in as much as it is about how the universe is monstrous, horrific, and hates you, it's about how terrible humans are to each other as well. It's a very, it's a very dystopian future in that sense, where it's corporations in charge of everything and buy your life, basically, because hyperspace travel is only really viable under cryosleep, which means that massive portions of your life are gone. You may return to Earth after a space trucking endeavor, and no one you know is still alive. So lots of potential for identity crises and that sort of thing as well.
The upside of which is you get everyone you know is dead, but you get to listen to all of Taylor Swift's albums she ever made in her entire life.
It's true, unless she also goes into cryosleep before the last one.
Oh, damn it!
Yeah, and then just does it again and again, and she has the money. She'll be able to do that.
Mother, turn off Pod 4, please.
Yes, exactly. So, if any of those things are not something you're comfortable with, then probably now is a better time to hop off than hop on. Specifics to this stream: there will be no sexual assault in game, or not in game, but I mean none in game, and no harm to children. Those are two kind of hard lines I draw. Gentlemen, if there's anything else that I have not covered in there and you'd like to mention or feel comfortable mentioning on the recording, please let me know. If not, just let me know outside of that in some fashion. But those are the two kind of hard lines I draw in any game. That doesn't mean in terms of children that peril isn't possible. We can recreate that Naked Gun scene where a million strollers are rolling down the stairs at the same time and he has to catch all of them. But that's, more of a slapstick thing than anything else. And while there may be some humor, it'll be simply between periods of great misery in this game. Okay. So that's that bit done. Let's talk the Lost Worlds campaign. The Lost Worlds campaign is the sort of official campaign for one of the three campaign structures in Alien. Alien presents three different kind of ways to play. One is space truckers. Get a job, carry cargo, move between places. Very much like the original Alien. Option 2, or campaign model 2, is Colonial Marines, which is much more like the second Aliens, where there's a lot more shooting of aliens and stuff like that. You can, find the Frontier War in the Colonial Marines Operation Manual, also by Free League Publishing for this game. And so it's a lot more shooty, death via that sort of thing than anything else. And then the last one addressing the core rules is the exploration colonization game. and we are playing the exploration colonization game. So sort of specifics to this involve the far spinward colonies, which 75 years ago, the space between the Outer Rim and the far spinward colonies were hit with massive solar ejections, gamma bursts, waves of radiation, and it became the time known as the Isolation. So travel was impossible and communication was lost with these new colonies. Cut off from what is known as the Middle Heavens, the far spinward colonies were left to themselves until now. So on Earth, the United Nations is trying to find something to create common ground between all the superpowers of Earth, be they supernations, supercorporations, etc., etc. And they have proposed a multinational expedition, the Great Mother Mission, which is intended to unite humanity behind a common goal, which is reclaiming these colonies. So, our players will be part of the Great Mother Mission. They are attached to the ship known as the UNCSS Solovetsky Island. It is one of the mission's 4 Magellan-class J-Science exploration vessels. Depending on how character creation goes, they may be integral parts of the crew, or they may just be crew, or, assigned to. The Lost Worlds campaign is designed to have the potential for a lot of sandbox play, or just straight narrative scenarios. But we will be, as part of character creation, sort of working through your connection to the mission, to Earth, etc., etc. There are random tables if you don't have an immediate idea. And, of course, you're not beholden to anything we roll, because, it's fun to not be part of that, or not have to stick to that. The crew of the Solovetsky Island will be sort of our extra cast on top of the players throughout the campaign, and I might do like a little side thing for our viewers about who they are, kind of truncated because it's not cool to read everything straight out of the book on YouTube for people. I'm sure beyond the fact that it's just kind of unethical, there are copyright reasons. So, what we're going to do is character creation. So, if you want to open up your, or if you already have open, your little character sheet thingies, we will start. And as we go through this, I'm going to kind of talk a little bit about it as we, kind of the what are you doing here kind of thing, so that the audience gets a sense of how the game works as well, to better follow along. So, it's a 10-step process. It's not particularly onerous to go through. Potentially by design, so that it's easier to get back into it if you have to create a new character. So the first choice is career. You pick a career out of a variety of options. Now, one of the things that you two can do is, if you go up to the top and sort of scroll over the icons until you get to the one that says Compendium. It's to the right of the notes. Click on that and tell me if you don't see anything.
Compendium.
Do you see
Alien RPG system.
Cool.
Tabletop RPG music. No, yep. I got the...
You got the whole thing? Okay.
I got the whole thing.
So click on, I guess, whatever implies Alien Core Rules, and it should open up sections of it. But look for career or anything like that. I would hop over there myself, but I am using Discord and I don't want to screw anything up for the video, but I might just pop over in there to see. So, Alien RPG core rules. Click on the core rules option. Minus. Oh, no. Okay, never
When
mind.
I did that, it opened up a 404 page.
Go over to the open book next to the briefcase.
Okay.
The upper one. That's the journal. Then go to the rule book,
Oh,
and then
okay.
go to the player guide. And this will have. This is where you can follow along with how we're doing this. I lost the video. It was bound to happen. It blipped for a second. For those of you again not completely in the know, the Alien aesthetic is that of when it was filmed, which will therefore mean that it's a very industrial future. You don't have access to things like, for example, massive view screens and sensor arrays. It's not Star Trek. It is pinging on a radar. And there is an artificial intelligence aboard ships known as Mother, but they do have their restrictions. So that glitch in the video is somewhat fitting. So one of the reasons I had you open that is that you can usually drag and drop things from there onto your character sheet. If it doesn't work, we can just write it in, but it'll usually sort of autofill things for you in doing that. All right. So the first choice is your career, and you have a number of options open to you, including 2 new ones from Beyond Better Worlds. Those would be the entertainer and the
Wildcatter?
the wildcatter. Thank you. Yeah. So those are 2. You can take a look at them to see what they are. You can kind of flick through the rest of them. But for the folks at home, I will run down the list of careers besides those 2. You have Colonial Marine, and in this case, you can be a Colonial Marine, you can be an ex-Colonial Marine. I'm not super strict about it. It's going to be Colonial Marshal, so kind of the sheriff. Company Agent, of course. The Kid, because, of course. A Medic Officer, so that's like a ship's officer, not necessarily like a military officer. Pilot. Roughneck, which is the sort of grunt of space. Lift this and move it there. A lot of the alien cast will be roughnecks. Scientist, because you always need a scientist, and they are the ones that make everything good and make everything happen. Wildcatter, which is, I guess, related to the roughneck. It's the
Seems like a
prospector type.
Oh.
It's a bit of both. Let's see what you're. Yeah, they would have vehicle based things because they sort of go out onto the colony and into the wild to look for stuff. And the entertainer, because the future needs laughter, as I mentioned earlier. Everyone needs a Crunchy the Clown. I just thought of a game with someone playing a clown on one of these ships. And then Okay. It's scary for a whole other set of reasons.
What? I thought we're playing Alien Clowns from Outer Space now?
Yeah.
What was that?
Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
From outer space, yes. Okay, so what are you thinking in the career front?
I'll let Matt go first because I've got an idea, but I haven't settled on it yet.
All right.
Okay. Yeah, I was thinking about the first 2 movies, and Well, it's Alien, and I thought if I wanted to have an action-oriented character, I could have a Space Marine. Sure, why not? But that seemed a little trite, so I wanted to make this guy a little different. So my one-line character concept is damaged ex-Marine who wants to be a part of society but doesn't know how.
Fantastic.
So he's kind of signed up for this. His skill set is going to be ex-Marine, but he's no longer part of the Corps.
Okay, cool. So do you want to pull can you pull the Colonial Marine? Is there one there that you can drag and drop?
That I can drag and drop.
So in the player... So player's guide, it's going to slow down a bit, everyone, for my video here, because it's asking a bit of my system, but...
here's Colonial...
And I kind of feel you should... Yeah, so if you... your character sheet's open. If you click on Colonial Marine and grab it, it might be able to move over, and if not, I've got to get it out of somewhere else. Every Foundry module is different, so I don't always have, my instincts aren't always the same. Can you do that?
Well, I can grab Colonial Marine, and it acts like it's got a plus on it, and it's going to let me drag it somewhere, but I can't drop it, I think.
Okay, that's fine. Just open it to reference it, and then that will... you'll be able to type things in from there.
Okay, so I've got it here. I kind of can't... wait. Maybe I can...
I think they might be in the core rules, though I'm not sure, because it seems like they have the rules for the Entertainer and the other new one, but they don't have the rules for the ones from the core rulebook. They just have sort of a little bit of reference stuff on it.
Ah, okay. All right. That's interesting. Maybe I can just do this. I should have done all of these things already, but maybe I didn't didn't import something properly. Nevertheless, you can type it in by hand, and it shouldn't cause you any problems. Corbin, any thoughts on career?
So, you had mentioned earlier, I think off camera, that there was a possibility of doing an officer or the captain and getting a little bit more freedom of choice. I was thinking maybe not doing the captain per se, but maybe doing the second in command, the number 2.
Oh yeah, okay, cool.
And so I was thinking taking the officer perk thing and going with the something along the lines of the I've been watching a lot of Deep Space Nine recently, and I was thinking sort of the Miles O'Brien if he became a captain.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. Yeah,
an engineer who started off as an engineer, but slowly got into the officer position.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's perfect then. Okay, cool. So do you want to take officer then?
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. I'll just yep, I think that is perfectly fine.
Perfectly splendid.
Okay, so those are your careers, and keep that little window open if you've got it, because it's going to help go through the rest of things. So now that you have your career, you determine your attributes. The game has 4 attributes to cover physical and mental capabilities. They go from 1 to 5, and they are the first part of the dice pool. The second part is the skill. So you combine the 2 numbers, roll that many 6-sided dice to achieve success or failure. The 4 attributes are strength, agility, wits, and empathy. Wits basically covers everything like perception and intelligence. Empathy is charisma and, anything manipulation based. And empathy. Strength is raw power and brawn, and agility is speed, motor skills, body control. You get to spend a total of 14 points across these attributes. You can assign no less than 2 and no more than 4 to any of them, but you can put 5 into what is the career attribute for your character. The key attribute, sorry. So for Colonial Marine, that is strength. Are either of you interested, possibly, in playing an android?
No.
And Android now.
Okay.
I don't think that fits with my concept.
They get some bonuses, but they also have other drawbacks. So, okay. So once you've assigned those to the stats, which should be near the top of your character sheet.
Can you say those numbers again?
14 points. Minimum
14
2,
points.
maximum 4, 5 in your key attribute.
What's the 5 for the key attribute for officers? What's the
Officers is you should empathy.
Empathy.
Expected to have some sort of leadership capabilities, though I guess you don't have to put points in there.
14 points.
So I can't take agility instead of strength, huh? Okay.
I mean, let's play raw for now, and we'll future characters we'll play around a little bit more with it. But I think part of it is like carrying the load out of them and so on, and really it's just for the maximum. So you split those 14 up amongst all 4.
Okay.
Got mine all set.
Okay.
Yep.
You want to run them down for me?
3 in strength, 2 in agility, 4 in wits, and 5 in empathy. So that should be a total of 14.
Okay.
Right. I've got 5 strength, 4 agility, 3 wits, and 2 empathy.
You complement each other very well in this situation. All right. Next is skills. So skills are skills, knowledges, and abilities that you've acquired during life. There are 12 of them in total, and they're measured between 0 and 5. You can roll for a skill if you don't have any points in it. You just use the associated attribute. And on your character sheet, I believe it should indicate the associated attribute for each of the skills, whether how they're grouped or it's in like brackets next to it. You have 10 points you can distribute there, up to 3 points in each of the skills listed for your career, and then a single point to any other skills.
It's 10 points in total.
Yeah. So for officer, your key skills are ranged combat, command, and manipulation. And for Colonial Marine, you have close combat, stamina, ranged combat. So those can have up to 3. Everything else can only have 1.
Right.
Usually,
we're allowed to spend on one skill that's outside of our 3 career skills.
well, yes. So you have 10 points to spend, maximum 3 in each of those, and then maximum 1 in the other 9. So you can assign up to 3 points in your career key skills. You don't have to, though you might want to.
For me, I've put 1 in heavy machinery because my guy's a previous engineer. 3 into range combat, 3 into command, so that's 7 so far. 1 into manipulation, 1 into observation, and 1 into comtech. Comtech, so that's additional 3, so that's 10 in total.
Excellent. All right.
I assume I need to be looking around to see the alien, if there is an alien.
Yeah, seeing things is a critical part of surviving in this game.
Yes, clearly.
Alright, well, I guess I'm going to go pretty much straight down the line. 3 in close combat, stamina, range combat, and 1 in mobility.
All right, nice. I mean, that fits, right? Like, why he has a hard time fitting into society. He doesn't know how to do anything else.
That's right.
Okay, very cool. Next is choosing your career talent. Talents are, little edges you have, little perks based off your career. They they sort of just set different, kick in different circumstances, allow you to do different things. So, Colonial Marine, you have the following choices, and I'll explain what they are as well. You have banter, overkill, and past the limit. Now, so that we know what those do. Yep.
So when I go to click on talents, I can't actually enter anything there.
That, then you probably have to drag. So, in the player's guide.
I lost access to the player's guide.
Yeah, so did.
Oh, you know what? Probably because I did that annoying thing where I re-imported them. Configure ownership, all players. There. Okay, you should have it again.
Well, now, okay.
Computers, everyone.
Thank you.
You can see them now?
Yes.
Yes.
Your character.
Okay, so Colonial Marine, banter. Between fights, you can release tension by bantering. So your stress level and the stress level of anyone in a short range of you drops 2 steps instead of 1 for every turn you spend in a safe place. The other one, overkill. Instead of panicking in the face of mortal danger, you turn fear into aggression and can use it as a weapon against your enemy. When you make a panic roll, which is when your stress, becomes too much to handle, you can use the overkill effect, and I'll tell you what that does. The overkill effect lets you replace the effect of your panic roll, and panic is that thing where I mentioned dropping a gun. It also involves freezing, seeking cover, screaming, all that. You can replace your rolled effect with overkill, which means you must immediately attack your enemies, and you won't stop until you or all enemies in sight are broken. However, that also then triggers a panic roll in any PC in short range of you, as they see you go berserk and start, firing everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last one is past the limit. When you make a roll, and typically, I guess you can do it whenever. If you don't like the result, you can push the roll. Push gives you a point of stress, but it lets you re-roll any dice that did not roll a 6. And typically you can only do that once. But past the limit lets you push skill rolls based on strength twice. They still bump your stress level up by 1 each time, but you have the option to do it. So
I tried to drag and drop a talent, but it wouldn't let me.
Oh, no. Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't let me grab it.
All Forgive the likely vanishing of. Okay. And you can't write it in. How interesting. Okay.
Maybe there's some permission thing that we have for the character sheet.
You should have full permission on it. I said it as an owner. Talents. Okay. Well, you've had time to see our lovely faces, so though it is gray right now, rest assured we will return. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Okay. Go one left of journals to that briefcase.
Right.
That is items. Do you see things in there?
No.
Nothing? Okay.
No.
Let's make sure you can. I'm just going to make you guys all.
Now I can. I see alien RPG armor.
Yep. Okay. This is just a Foundry thing. I didn't give the right permissions to everybody what I thought I did. So this is letting you.
Oh, so there's equipment, and then there's probably one for talents as well.
There is one for talents. You have full access and ability to do whatever to these, so just please don't do other stuff to it.
Can I have a science lab like just in my stomach? Because apparently.
Why not?
I'm missing something, I feel. What am I missing?
Talents. I don't have talents yet.
Oh, I see.
I
Okay.
There we go.
Here we go. Career talent.
Rather, I meant in the joke about the science lab in your stomach.
Oh, because it was like all character stuff, and then it had spaceship modules, and I'm like, can I put a spaceship module in myself?
Fair enough. Okay, just to make sure I didn't miss anything, let's run down the list. Armor, building better worlds, equipment, spaceship modules, spaceship weapons, systems, talents, career, talents, general, vehicle weapons, and weapons.
Yep.
Right.
Cool. Okay, all that drag and drop stuff should come from here.
Thank you.
Okay. So under career talents,
Yeah.
I'm supposed to choose from banter, overkill, or pass the limit.
That's right.
Banter's out because this guy is like antisocial. He's extremely uncomfortable, so banter's out. Either overkill or pass the limit. Overkill is of course has its charm, but I don't know. I think pass the limit is probably better for his for survivability. So I'm going to choose pass the limit.
Right.
How's that? So he's not a stone cold maniac all the time. So now I just drag this into place and drop it.
Yep.
Ah, it worked.
There
Like
we
it.
go. Okay.
Like
Defying Tanner Skoll, defying fate at every opportunity.
Indeed.
As long as you can. Okay, Corbin, your officer talents. You have Field Commander, which lets you use command to give orders in combat as a fast action instead of a slow action. Those are the two kinds of actions. Fast actions are the sort of quick things that you can do and not necessarily expect or have to wait on a result, and slow are the ones that take time. So most combat actions are slow. Giving orders is a slow action. You basically bark orders to somebody as long as they can hear you. You roll command, and for every success you get, they get a +1 modification to their roll when carrying out the order you gave. It's a pretty nice boost there.
That one is, and that's the one that's calling to me the most right now, actually.
The other two are influence, so you can push empathy twice, pull rank where you can use your command skill to order other non-officer PCs and NPCs around, as long as they belong to the same organization as you. But
That one felt very Commissar from 40K to me.
it does, though. Unlike that, your stress level goes up each time. I think their stress level goes down when they order people around. You go there, die. Oh God, I feel better. Sorry, throne. I feel better. Or God Emperor, I feel better. Yeah, the Field Commander looks good. The Field Commander looks good just on a pure mechanical basis.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Cool. Okay.
Add that in there.
Okay. Now, of course, you can learn skills and talents throughout the game with experience points. All right. Choose a name. I believe Tanner Skoll is one already. So,
Sure.
Corbin, whenever you have a name, that's cool.
I think a cool name. I can't go with just badass motherfucker. That's a cool name.
You can. It could be a nickname.
No, let's go with.
Everyone call me badass motherfucker. Okay.
Okay.
BM for short.
BM more. Let's see. I always have trouble character names.
You want some time? They have they have suggestions actually. If you want to hear them.
What's the company's name?
Wayland Yutani.
How do they spell Wayland? Wayland.
Weyland.
Okay, I'm gonna do Wayland, but with an A instead of an E. Just like, and for the first name, let's just go with
Lloyd, Oliver, Eugene.
Oh my God, first. You know, Wayland is a perfectly fine first name, and I will go for the last name of O'Brien. Wayland O'Brien.
Nice. Okay. All right.
I am not doing a nice.
That's okay. You don't have to. But you could do a whole bit on why Elvis is amazing, if you want. Just to Colin Meaney played in The Commitments as well, and his character was a huge Elvis fan. Okay, so looking at your sheets, you'll see your stress level, of course, which should hopefully be 0 right now. Also your health score, which is equal to your strength score. When you suffer damage, your health score goes down. When it hits 0, you're broken and you get critical injuries. And we'll deal with all that as we come to combat and things like that. Okay. Appearance.
My health is 0 out of 5. Is that good?
Ooh, you can bump it up a bit.
That's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bring it to 5. So.
And I like when you hover over stress, it shakes back and forth violently. Nice touch.
Nice touch. Okay, appearance. So, I think there's somewhere on your sheet for it. Just when you want to take a moment just to jot down a few notes about them. There's going to be anything like, hairstyles, tattoos, scars. What else? Demeanor. Maybe just, if you want, the first 3 things someone might notice when they see you, whatever they might be.
Okay, I'm going with a disheveled officer with a scruffy beard, but his uniform is immaculate.
Ah, perfect. Love it.
Type of person who really just they got promoted and so they're trying to put their best step forward, but they're very bad at personal hygiene.
Awesome. Okay. then we've got. Well, while you're working on that, we can do some other stuff too.
All right.
Before we get to the next step of character creation, I want to bring in something from Building Better Worlds relevant to the campaign, and which could affect the next option. So those are your affiliations and your connection to the mission. So you can either roll randomly or choose. I will go through them if you'd like. If you'd like to select them, or if you just want to roll randomly, feel welcome to do that too.
Yeah, I don't see them listed, but I don't want to take random either.
Okay.
So yes, let's go through
They
them.
should be listed. Let me just check.
What chapter are they in?
Oh, they're in Building Better Worlds. So don't worry, I'll go through them.
Okay.
Outside of Foundry. Okay. So you have a minor corporation. These are corporations like Hyperdyne, Omnitech Resources, or the Kelland Mining Corporation. Wayland Yutani, the Union of Progressive Peoples, the United Americas, the United Nations, or you're an independent contractor contracted to them, the Three World Empire, or the Interstellar Commerce Commission. And if you want further information on any of those, I can also provide that.
Okay. I think my guy is extremely wary of corporations, and so he's an independent contractor through the United Nations.
Cool.
Now, how do I write that down?
That you could probably put in. Let's pull up your character sheet. I think maybe the best place you could put it under, maybe in description, or you could put it under personal agenda.
Okay.
I think that might be a bad place to put it because it might be related to your personal agenda when we get to that section.
What's which one of those is more likely to be like a union thing? I feel like the last one you mentioned sounded kind of like a union. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So, I guess depends on what you're thinking of by union. So let me pull.
So I was thinking of like I'm thinking of a guy who's like a union man type character.
Okay.
But I don't know, like, I know the companies probably don't like unions, so maybe that means independent as well.
Yeah, Interstellar Commerce Commission was the last one. So that's more like I would say like a NAFTA kind of enforcer sort of.
Oh, okay. So that's
INF,
definitely not that.
World Bank.
I'll just go independent as well. We're a crew of independents, maybe.
Yeah, that's not bad. It keeps you. It keeps in terms of the PC group. It keeps you from having like, I'm part of the United Americas. I'm part of the UPP, and we ideologically differ. And then we get to have hilarious arguments and so on and so forth. Okay, connection to the mission. There are 6 options. None. You're in this for the money. You're curious about what happened in the Far Spinward colonies, but apart from that, it's just a job. The people of the colonies must be suffering. The Great Mother mission is vital in helping them recover. Your ancestors settled in the Far Spinward colonies before the isolation, and we'll roll to see which one, and you want to find their descendants or what happened to them. You and a few close family or friends are looking for a fresh start. They lie asleep aboard another ship I'll mention in a second, while you work to find that new future for them. They would be on board the UNCSS Ianla. It's a Lockmartin Welson type 3300B Deucalion Class X modular colony carrier. And so it is carrying potential colonists. And then the last option is you're all in for a new life and future. Your entire family and many friends are in cryosleep on that ship, waiting for you to find them their new home. Anything jump out, or do you want? And in this case, something like Matt, you mentioned you want to reintegrate with society. Putting number 3 might work. People must be suffering. Depends on how he feels about that.
I think Fresh Start or the last one you read, which seemed like an amplified version of it might be the. All right, so what's the last one called?
The last one's your entire family and many friends. So you're
right. So that's a problem because he doesn't really have any.
That's okay.
He could have like a daughter and like some family or something that's like the last bit of his life that is like something protective.
A cousin, nephew, neighbor who
war.
Father's cousin's roommate.
One of his he has one buddy. All right.
Okay.
His
war buddies.
Yeah, war buddy is on the other ship, and his war buddy's disabled. So his disabled war buddy is on the other ship. Okay. So this other guy got messed up physically, and my guy got messed up in the head. So that's where we're at.
Out for a fresh start. Okay. Corbin, any one of them jump out at you?
I like the one of like people are hurt out there. Like I like the mystery of it. Like I'm trying to figure out what I want to know what happened.
Sure. Okay. Great. So that would be the people of the colonies must be suffering. The Great Mother mission is vital in helping them recover.
Yeah. All right. Though I guess I'm less altruistic and more like trying to figure it out.
Sure. Okay.
It's a mystery to solve.
You could say you're curious about what happened, but other than that, it's just a job.
Yeah.
These are really just prompts, right? Like you don't have to fully adhere to any one of them.
I gotcha.
Okay.
So I just put that in my agenda?
Yeah, I think it's still the best place to put it. Because the next thing we do is your personal agenda. And personal agendas come into play at the end of each game session. We discuss, and if you've taken some action to further your agenda during the session, despite risk or cost to you, you gain a bonus experience point. And those, they give a few suggested personal agendas. You can make your own. For the Colonial Marine, you are a decorated hero. You need to defend your reputation at all costs. You once helped cover up a war crime no one must ever know. The death of your buddy has spooked you. Now you secretly fear combat and confrontation. You need to overcome your fear. Feel free to hack them to bits and use bit portions.
Right. So he was party to war crimes, which is why he left the Corps and doesn't trust any corporations.
All right.
Right after that suit arrived, all of our orders changed.
Yep. All right.
Kind of thing. And then all of a sudden things went really bad. Mm-hmm. He got out when he could.
So, maybe, write that into your personal agenda however you want to, in terms of remembering it, and then whenever he, his goal, what's he after, whether it's integration, whether it's avoiding corporations, or anything like that, and you'll get the XP when you make movements towards it. Suggested personal agendas for the officer. are you come from an officer family, you need to gain a promotion or an award soon. You messed up in the past. Avoid taking the blame for any more mission screw-ups. Mistakes are deadly, so don't let anyone under your watch screw up. Make sure they understand why.
So I kind of like the first one, but I want to go with he's the first officer in his family, so he wants to do them proud and
Okay.
and have like be like the ideal officer kind of, or try and have like some sort of clout or like be seen as worthy of the job title.
All right, very cool. Yeah. Okay.
Up the ziggurat, lickety split.
All right. Next step is okay. So buddy and rival are role-playing elements where you would choose a character, a PC to be your buddy and a PC to be your rival. There are only two of you, so what I think we might do with that is we'll do this offline, but I'll give you the sort of rundown on the other named NPCs in the crew, and you can loop them into the whole thing as well. So, buddy or rival could be either one of you, or it could be from them. Whatever combination you feel works best, and we can sort of hash that out too, so that you have a good grasp of all that. They're more for me to reference in terms of like knowing ahead of time that so and so and so and so do not get along, or these guys are the best of friends. All right, next step: picking your gear and your signature item. So your career determines what gear you can choose at the start. If you get a weapon, you always get 2 full reloads, and you're assumed to have a uniform or civilian clothing, as well as some cash. And then you have your signature item. Signature items help reduce stress. In fact, I'm certain that's what it is, but now I am second guessing myself that it was something else. But I think that's it.
No, that's
it?
it. I remember I had like a rosary in my old
Yes.
character, and that was his personal item to relieve stress.
Right. Makes sense. Okay. Awesome. So, Colonial Marine. Go, I guess, into the items section of Foundry if you're not still there.
Now, what do you mean? You mean inventory, or do you mean Alien RPG equipment over in the?
Yeah, in the briefcase thing. So equipment and weapons and armor. Pick all of them,
Yeah.
and then move on your character sheet over into inventory.
Okay. Now, I don't see a place on the sheet to put my signature item.
That'll go in the front page, I think.
Yeah, it's the front page, general, under appearance.
I see. Thank you.
So you can come up with the signature item yourself, or the option, the prompts they give are a bullet that you survived, a lost friend's dog tags, or a trophy from a defeated enemy.
Mhm.
While you're thinking,
I'm gonna think about this one more. Yeah, I don't know.
well, in that case, we'll do gear.
Yeah.
So you get 2 of the items in this list. You could have an M41A pulse rifle or an M56A2 smart gun. You could have an M314 motion tracker or 2 electroshock grenades. You could have a pressure suit or personal armor, a signal flare, or a deck of cards. But you only get 2 of these.
So, is this smart gun also a rifle?
The smart gun's
None of these.
that one in Aliens, which they have, like, it's a heavier weapon.
That's rock. Yeah. Okay.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with that one. All right. So now I drag this over.
Yep.
Okay, and I get 2 reloads, you said?
Yep.
Okay. And I think he wants some armor, so...
M3 personnel armor. Or a pressure
Right.
suit, but probably you want personnel armor.
I accidentally added a weapon I shouldn't have.
Seems more like it.
Corbin.
M3... And I should move this smart gun... I made this smart gun inactive here.
Oh, yeah.
If you right-click it, it'll go to active.
If I right-click...
If you, like, right-click the name, I think?
Yes.
No, if you left-click it, and then right-click it to go inactive.
Okay, good. I have those things. And now you said I had an option between a deck of cards and a what?
Oh, you only get 2 of the items, so you get the smart gun and the armor.
Okay, that's...
a signal flare or a deck of cards.
Okay, well, I already picked my gun and my armor, so that's good enough.
And you also get D6 times $100 in cash. We'll talk about spending cash shortly.
Okay, so do I roll?
Yep. Now you can do that by going to the chat log window, /roll 1d6, or you did it already.
$300.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so I'm good for now?
Yep. Oh,
right.
Figure out your signature item, but yeah, otherwise you're
Right, I'm going to noodle on that, yeah.
Okay. All right, officer. Signature items suggested are ship's cat, letter of recommendation, ICC commercial flight officer license.
I mean, letter of recommendation sounds good.
Yeah, that was not bad.
I like that one.
Okay, and then gear. Your choices are. I want to see what one of these things is.
Yeah, the second pair and the fourth pair, I'm not sure what those are. Like, there's one that's like you get a watch or binoculars, and then the last one is like a PDAT or a transponder.
Yeah,
and I don't see those listed really.
They should be under equipment, I think.
Other equipment?
Probably. I'm going to find them in here. Here we are. Diagnostics and display.
Oh, here it is.
PDAT is a personal data tablet, which can be synced with mapping devices, helmet cams, things like that. Personal data transmitter is PDT. And an IFF transponder is a personal beacon that prevents automated sentry systems from accidentally blowing friendly targets to pieces.
How likely are there to be automated turrets?
Well, who knows what happened to the colonies out there? It's not impossible. They're surgically implanted, by the way.
Yes. I think I'm going to go with the compression suit, and I'm debating between the service pistol and the
laser welder.
The laser welder. I think based on like comparing the two, I think the service pistol is actually better, but I'm not sure if that matters. I'm not sure how much that matters.
It could matter. You never know.
Like it says here, so
Why are you going to need a gun in an alien scenario?
yeah. Well, it's like oh, the laser pistol, it's $400, and then it's like, but it does 1 damage and it has a bonus of 1, and then it's the service pistol has damage 1 and a bonus of 2. I'm just sitting here going, yes, it's a 9mm, so it's not really gonna do much against something that's like stocky. Like if I shoot a bear with a 9mm, that's not really gonna do much except piss it off.
That's true. And oh wait, it's the EVA pistol, right?
Yeah, the EVA
Yeah, that's
pistol.
the sorry.
Oh, it's armor piercing.
Yeah, I called it a laser welder. It's actually a miniaturized version of the laser welder as a pistol. So
Yeah.
um, it is
I
now
mean,
standard self-defense armament.
I
So
don't I don't see anything that says it's it says armor piercing, but is that a quality or is it
yeah. So let's find
Oh, it is a quality. I'm gonna take the EVA pistol then.
Yeah, sounds good.
And I will take the compression suit because I feel like having something having the ability to go out in 0G might be useful.
It just might.
And it also has like a heads-up display and a bunch of other stuff, and I just like having that versatility.
Yeah, sounds good. And you get 2d6 times 100 in cash.
Okay, I will roll the d6s. I got double 12s. No, I didn't get double 12s. I got 2s.
So
So I guess I get $400 in cash.
Yeah. Okay. Couple of things just to note. Encumbrance-wise, you can carry a number of regular-sized items equal to double your strength without problems. Regular is like a small bag, no more than a few kilos in weight. Heavy items designated as heavy count as 2, and light count as half. Things to keep in mind, and things that I was not necessarily doing properly in Chariot of the Gods, by the way, Corbin, are consumables. Consumables are things you need to survive. There are 4 potential consumables. These are air, food, water, I believe power. Yep. And essentially, while you're using it, you have to make supply rolls to make sure it doesn't run, like you don't lose one. So if you're going on a spacewalk, every turn you've got to roll to make sure you don't start losing air. And then when you're doing strenuous stuff. So there is an element of survival to this in that fashion, making sure a quartermaster is not a bad option, or is someone to be friendly with in these circumstances. Okay, cash. So I would say that you can spend any or all of it before the game starts, and you can look at gear, and you can look at all those things in the in Foundry there to help you spend it. Now I'm just gonna see if there's anything else in here that we should look at. You will get a weekly pay. We'll go over that at a later point. Time in cryosleep is 1/4 of your salary per week. And we'll go over the... Where is it? the contract, and a couple other like little handout things. I'll I'll show you before we kick off with the first session.
Awesome.
But those are your characters. We'll, I'll talk through some of the more standard task resolutions or things like stealth mode, um, which is basically the sneaking around and trying not to alert anybody you're there. And there is a sort of set, it shifts into that mode while we're moving around, the abandoned colony or the strange tunnels beneath the surface.
Spoilers.
Spoilers, I'm not saying those are or aren't spoilers. I was thinking of Prometheus. Um,
Uh,
and um, and we'll go from there. But those are your characters. Um, think on your signature items if you haven't already picked one. Names,
Yeah, I
if you
worked
picked
that.
those. Um, and those are who we'll be kicking off with. So, yeah. Do you guys have any questions right now that I can try to address or we can figure out by looking at a book?
Not at the moment. I feel like I'm all set. I'm very curious how this game um does Alien in a way that isn't like just, oh, it's always the alien.
Well, so I think when I talked about when I said a horrible universe is trying to kill you early on, that's sort of the angle I feel they've taken with it. So, I mean, when I first heard it was coming out, I was like, cool, I like Alien. Um, but what's the longevity of an Alien game? Now, to be fair, these days especially, I'm much more open to the idea of, well, this isn't meant to be a years long campaign. It's meant to get the point across and then wrap it up succinctly. Um, and that's what the cinematic scenarios are like. The campaign ones are further, and then didn't we say everything we could in Alien? But no, what they sort of do with this is take Alien or the aliens, the xenomorphs specifically, and apply that term to anything. So we knew them as xenomorphs, but that's just what we called them. There are other versions out there. The black goo from I guess Prometheus, but it must have shown up in other stuff too, is there as well. The universe with the engineers and all that.
Mm-hmm.
They've played a role in the grand scheme of things, and part of this is about finding out our role in it, um, why we're here, what we're supposed to do, if we're supposed to do
Okay.
anything in particular. Um, so there are highly philosophical elements of it, but then yes, the xenomorph thing, it's just a catch-all term now for scary, terrifying, kill
Monsters.
you monsters that do have a thematic connection or a
Geiger type monsters.
or a direct connection to the xenomorphs from the franchise.
Awesome.
Yeah, actually, one of the things I found helpful a while back, I was trying out Comixology Unlimited, just because I was like, I got a little bit of time. I'm just going to read as many comics as I possibly can. And Dark Horse had done Alien series a while, like many years ago, many years ago, um, and I read a bunch of them, and they were good. I liked them because even to one extent, we were like, well, all right, this is about a colony, and the ship lands here, and something goes wrong. I know where this is going. Um, but some of the other ones were like, what happens when, you know, we try to play with this a little more. Like Alien Resurrection, it was, what do we like? What happens
Yeah.
when we tamper with this stuff and create other things? And I think it's got a lot of room to move and maneuver in that part of it too. Kind of then bring it back into the, aren't we the real monsters? well, I mean, aren't we also the monsters? How about? Because the xenomorphs are definitely the monsters, but we're capable of terrible things too, just not face hugging.
Hold my beer.
Yeah. Hold my beer,
Right.
exactly. So yeah,
They may be xenomorphs, but they don't have lawyers.
yeah, exactly. Apologies to lawyers. If you, I didn't,
Nah,
I didn't mention that
true.
at the beginning of the session. So if at the end of it you're here like, hey, I'm a lawyer. Well, sorry. Um,
I take a very Shakespearean look at lawyers.
oh yeah.
The quote from Shakespeare: "First we kill all the lawyers."
Ouch.
It,
I'm interested to hear about. I'm interested to hear about the NPCs. I want to try to figure out who his buddy and who his rival are going to be.
All right,
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I'll get that info to you ASAP so that you've got some time to think on it.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, so yeah, I think it's gonna be a fun campaign and lots of thrills, chills, spills, and kills to occur. I mean, I don't know how likely it is for your characters to die, and that's one of the things I think might be kind of interesting to see in comparison to other games where the likelihood of death or sort of game removing trauma exists, like Call of Cthulhu or various versions of that. So Delta Green,
Any D100 game.
any D100 game.
To a lighter extent, paranoia.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Because those sort of have that like build up, but you have the ability to reduce your stress and bring it down, and yeah, I'm interested to see how it plays out with this set of rules. Yeah, I like the Year Zero engine from everything I've played with it so far. The other version, for those of you at home, is a die type, or like the die type increases. So instead of having 4 dice in something, you started with say like D4, then D6, D8, and then you roll a D10. You try to get 6 or higher, and then for every I'd have to look, but every iterative amount higher than that, you get an extra success. I think it might be 4 points, but I'm not positive. I might be crossing that with Savage Worlds. So, yeah, a different way to do it. Blade Runner does that, and Twilight 2000 uses that. I don't know if Walking Dead does. I'll have to look at that. I think they shifted to that with Twilight 2000. So Forbidden Lands, Vaesen, Alien, Mutant, Year Zero, and its cousins all use the die pool version. But yeah, I guess whether you like die pools or you like rolling one die, you got both options in this system. All right. So any other questions, thoughts, anything you want to tell the audience, or we'll wrap there.
Yeah, I'm fine wrapping
Yeah,
up.
I had something else that I was going to ask, but now it's gone, so it'll come back.
Yep. Corbin?
No, keep going. I'll say it after.
Oh no, I was just going to say you can ask questions of me in between sessions, of course.
For me, I did say I was going to say I chose the second in command because in case you ever want to, if you ever feel like, oh yeah, we can totally just have the reins ourselves, the captain can die or something.
Yeah. No, that's good, right? Get like a little used to the whole thing, and then kill the captain and field promotion, and now it's all up to you. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yes. Do we know exactly which game year this takes place in, or does it not matter? The 80s, right?
Oh, I see. Like in terms of the
The
enemies in terms of like
Yeah, it's like 2180 something.
yeah.
Or is that where we are?
Let me see. Um,
Because that would help me like set the backstory events in the timeline that's provided in the main book. You
yeah.
know.
So 2185. Yeah,
Okay. Got it.
we're 2185. Very cool. Okay, so this has been our session 0 for Alien: The Lost Worlds campaign. I'll be releasing these to YouTube as I get them edited, which is mainly just gonna be throwing on a title card and some spooky music, uh, spooky royalty-free music, YouTube, and yeah. So we will return with session 1 next session, and we'll start the first scenario and blast off into the great unknown. Let's. I'll sign off. You want to just now that we have characters, you can introduce or reintroduce yourself, say who you're playing, and plug anything you want to plug. So let's go in reverse order this time. Corbin.
Officer Wayland O'Brien signing off. AwkwardGMCorbin on YouTube. Check me out. And the Storypath Nexus Game Jam is going on throughout February. Please check it out. And if you're not interested in participating, you can always vote on the people who are participating at the end of the month on the 28th.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Former grunt Tanner Skoll signing off. Look for Old Bones Publishing on for horror fantasy gaming on Drive-Thru RPG. And if you want to learn more about the Mithras gaming system, which is my favorite one, there's a Discord, and you can listen to the Mithras Matters podcast by Inwills on Buzzsprout, lots of places. Cheers.
And I am Simon. Go by on most socials at Tabletop Almanac. You can find me at times on the Onyx Path Twitch channel doing either a Mage of the Ascension show or playing or running in an actual play. And right now over at Dork Tales, a big shout out to Dork Tales. I'm running a once monthly Changeling the Lost 2nd Edition game. The session 0 and session 1 are up on YouTube right now. We've finished session 2, so that will be up there at some point. It is a rollicking good time. They're a great group of people, so check out their other stuff too. Check back here for the next episode of the Lost Worlds campaign. And thank you again to Free League for supplying that which makes this possible. freeleaguepublishing.com? I can't remember their website, but you can find it. Great group, great company, lots of cool games. And that'd be it. So, stay safe out there. Be good to each other. Have a great day, evening, whenever you're watching this.
Bye.
Bye.